Joshua and Ruiz next week, Bob?
Oh, yeah.
In Saudi Arabia?
Unfortunately, the game of the year will be on against that, LSU and Georgia.
Right. Who do you think wins that fight, though, Bob?
LSU. No, who wins that fight?
Yeah.
I think Andy Ruiz. I think Andy wins again. I think Joshua's overrated. And, I just think Andy is underappreciated. He fought most of his fights for us, and I know how good he is. He has a low center of gravity, which is good against the big heavyweight, and people don't realize what great hand speed he has.
So is it more just the physical stuff? You don't buy into the psychological Joshua's broken and
no, that's bullshit. I mean, but again, in back of Joshua's mind is the fact that he got knocked out by this guy.
Right.
I mean, so that is a factor. How big a factor, I don't know.
But right now, soul searching time. I can't say if taking the immediate rematch is wrong or right. He knows where he's at. Sometimes getting right back on the horse is the right thing to do. Sometimes taking a break is the right thing to do. No case is the same. He knows where he's at, and he seems to be a smart individual. So I think he's going to, I think if he wasn't ready, I think he would probably take a fight in between. I'm not sure what the contract reads, if it's immediate or not. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it is.
You can get behind Woods in sparring.
To Joshua's credit, though, he hasn't been boxing that long. His total career is just over 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. Most of us, at least Tim had 10 years under our belts before we had our first pro fight. So he's really an overachiever. Deontay Wilder is really an overachiever if you really look at the whole career and the time spent in the ring. And that's to be, that's commendable. I think with Joshua, and people took the comment the wrong way and they kind of spun it. And I get it about the bodybuilding and stuff. I wasn't trying to pile on. Like, I have a lot of respect for Joshua. I ain't like we said about Lennox, though. I can't get on board with that. But I have a lot of respect for him as a fighter. I know how hard it is, obviously. And I know that when you lose, people love to pile on. And I didn't intend for my comment to be that, even though it was kind of spun like that. Basically what I was saying was, like, put the weights down, put the battle ropes down, put the fitness stuff down. You are a big man, you're strong, you got enough physical strength. Lean out a little bit, don't do any resistance work, just work on your conditioning, get in the gym with Robert McCracken and just work your skill. Be honest about where you're deficient, shore up those areas, get those areas better, and then go out there with the right mindset that I'm gonna get my title back, and that's gonna put him in the best position to win. But that's what I meant to say, or I was trying to say. But he has a shot. Depends on how he comes back. Lennox did it. Lennox did it. Sometimes getting knocked off your perch can create a monster, and sometimes it can knock you down and you can never recover. But that's the beauty of boxing. That's why everybody's gonna tune in. That's why they're gonna make the money they're gonna make. That's why we're gonna really see how good Anthony Joshua really is, because he's been knocked off his perch. We all can ride high when we're standing tall, but what can you do when things don't go your way? What can you do when you have some real adversity? Not, I got buzzed in the fight, but I recovered. Or I got knocked down, but I got up. You've been knocked off your perch. The whole world turned on you. Now what are you made of?
If you're Anthony Joshua's coach or trainer, do you take the immediate rematch?
I think you're almost in a position where you have to, because Joshua is a guy who unified the titles, and you don't want to risk those titles becoming ununified and all the politics coming into play. So because of the situation, it kind of leaves you in a bad position if you don't take the immediate rematch. So, whether you agree with it or not, he kind of has to do it, because otherwise you're gonna put a lot of the work that you did, you're gonna risk it becoming undone, even if you fight him later. I mean, granted, you get people, the devil's advocate can say, well, what if he loses again? He's gonna risk undoing the work anyway. Sure, of course, but you roll the dice. This is what boxing is, right?
Paulie, you said during commentary when Ruiz won that Andy Ruiz played Anthony Joshua all week. He was smiling, taking pictures.
Played everybody all week.
We're seeing a little bit of a different side to Anthony on Twitter. He's putting some stuff out.
And now you're seeing the real Andy.
What is that?
The guy, I know, Andy's a fighter. He has an edge to him. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think all fighters have an edge to them. If you thought Andy Ruiz is just showing up like a happy-go-lucky guy the fight week, then he played you for a sucker. You know what I'm saying? Because He's a fighter and he's a top contender, and he was a top contender before that fight. This wasn't Butterbean. He may look like chubby, but he's not Butterbean. He was a guy who was a legitimate heavyweight contender. So, if you believe that he was just showing up just as a happy-go-lucky guy, you got played for a sucker. And now I think you're seeing the more of a true side, more of the fighter side of Andy Ruiz, where there's a bit of a spite in him, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think he's a fighter, and that's what he's going to do. It doesn't make him a bad guy. It doesn't make him a nice guy. It just makes him a fighter, and that's what fighters do. And so, there's nothing wrong with it.
Do we see in the rematch a far better Joshua and a far better Ruiz, considering Ruiz only had 5 weeks?
Yeah, you have a possibility. Ruiz was already in shape because he had just knocked out Dimitrenko. So you might have. The thing is, whether you see a better Ruiz or not, I don't think you got to see all of Ruiz. I don't think he had to use his whole arsenal to get Joshua out of there. I think he fought a pretty basic fight, and he got Joshua out of there. So you may see a better Ruiz because Joshua may force a better Ruiz as well. And also Joshua will come with a mentally stronger game plan, and physically he'll obviously come with a stronger game plan. So in that regard, you expect to see a better Joshua. So in that regard, you expect to see more Ruiz and a better Ruiz, because Ruiz will have to show more of himself. You didn't see all of Ruiz in that fight. He fought a pretty basic fight, and the fight ended.
When you go into a rematch, Paulie, and you're going into a fight where a fighter has already knocked you out, dropped you 3-4 times, is it more a psychological fight? So if I get into the ring, Joshua gets in the ring with Ruiz, and Ruiz lands once, does Joshua's mindset all of a sudden have almost a memory recap?
It can be, but it's also something that is in Joshua's mind. Only he knows that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes only you know when you get hit. I think AJ strikes me as a mentally strong fighter. When I saw the Klitschko fight, I really believed that, wow, this guy got up off his ass in front of 90,000 people and put this together when he was out. You know what I'm saying? And he was almost out of the fight. And he even lost the next couple rounds after that, but refused to wither away, and then eventually got this guy out of there. To me, that was impressive, not because of what he did physically in stopping Klitschko, but what he did because of mentally stabilizing himself in such a storm. I think in the Ruiz fight, it's possible that when you don't expect a tough fight and you're in a tough fight, your mind can never stabilize itself. I think he went into the Klitschko fight expecting a tough fight, so when it got tough, mentally he stayed with it. Maybe in the Ruiz fight he took him lightly. Maybe in the Ruiz fight, when he goes on his ass, he suddenly finds himself in a place where he might not have expected to find himself in that fight. In the Klitschko fight, he probably told himself, I may wind up on my ass, but it's not going to mean the fight's over. In the Ruiz fight, he's on his ass, and he might be thinking, I shouldn't even be here. What happened? And you suddenly can't stabilize yourself mentally in the fight, and before you know it, the fight's over. So maybe, from a mental perspective, he knows how dangerous Ruiz can be now, and he'll have more of an edge to him, because I can't just see a guy like Joshua having such a mental edge in one fight and then having no mental edge at all in another fight. So it just didn't come together for me, and it still doesn't come together for me. So I think that edge he had, it's gonna be there for the rematch. Not to say Andy doesn't have that edge too, because obviously the guy always has it. But we're talking about Joshua here because he got beat. I think Joshua comes with that edge this fight.
Who wins?
It's tough, man. It's tough, you might find a fight where they're both getting up off their ass again,
You going to Saudi?
If I work it,
if the money's right.
If Sky hires me, sure, why not, But it's going to be a good fight.
Ruiz Joshua, Keith, how does that go, the second one?
The second one, I definitely lean a little bit towards Joshua because people forget that Joshua got the first knockdown. He got the first knockdown. The fight could have been over. It wasn't, but it could have been. So and Joshua didn't look like Joshua. A lot of times when fighters hear that they're fighting a replacement, they sit on the couch a little longer. Joshua trained in Miami. I haven't heard of too many great training camps that happen in Miami. I heard of nice parties and clubbing and stuff goes down in Miami, but not great training camps. I'll tell you that much. I'm from Florida. I know.
How do you see the second fight going?
I think Joshua going to this next fight, I think he'll be more focused. I think he knows that the type of danger that Andy Ruiz is, and he'll go in there more focused, and he should get the win. I don't see the fight going 12 rounds. I think he should knock him out. If he doesn't knock him out, I think Ruiz will knock him out. But this fight, I think he's much more focused, and he'll go in there and get the job done.
Yeah, what do you think about Ruiz Joshua too, man? How does that play out?
Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. It's tough. It's tough. It's really like a toss-up. I know both of them hungry. What's his name? Ruiz? Yeah, he was hungry and he seen what things changed for him. So I think he ain't trying to lose it that quick.
What do you think if they did their rematch? Who would win? Would you think Ruiz would still have that opportunity to upset, or do you think Anthony Joshua change some stuff and come in and favor him?
Obviously, there's always going to be the ability for Andy to cause another upset, or it would even be an upset this time. But I really believe in Anthony Joshua's skill set and his ability and his team. I'm a huge Anthony Joshua fan. I have been for a long time. I think that he is an incredible athlete. So I would love to see him go back to work, build his confidence back up, get back out there and come back and get the win and redeem himself, and a la Lennox Lewis versus Hasim Rahman. But we'll see. Andy is a great champion. He's a very, very tough guy, and he's going to be bringing his all as well. So I guess we'll just see how it plays out.
Ruiz Joshua 2, man. How does that play out?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be a good fight. I mean, I think now Joshua is 100% focused on what he got to do, and Ruiz is like, listen, I love this lifestyle. I love everything that's in front of me, and I'm not willing to give this up. You know what I mean? So that's gonna make a very competitive, interesting fight.
How does AJ have to approach the rematch, you feel, to get the victory this time?
Aggressive, because you're dealing with an aggressive guy that's coming to you, and he has skills, fast hands. So you got to jump in there and show him who the boss is. Like now, this is the only time I would say bullying is like it's good now. You know what I'm saying? Joshua, be a bully. You know what I'm saying? You want to win, be a bully. If not, hey.
How does it feel to know that you got that kind of hand speed advantage over most opponents? Like for Andy Ruiz, it looks like that was a big problem for Joshua. How does it feel to be able to have that kind of advantage over a fighter, and how does that work for you mentally, knowing that I'm faster than him?
I think that's like a good 70% confidence things that goes into it. The next thing is what a lot of guys worry about is, well, how hard do he hit? Like, you know what I'm saying? When you start asking those questions, you're messing up. You know what I mean? Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Just go in there and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Ruiz and Joshua, do you think Ruiz brings those titles back home?
Listen, that's a tough one. People say that it was a fluke, it was a cheap shot. Not cheap shot, but it was
punch from the gods is the quote.
Punch from the gods. No better way you can put it. But I don't think it was. I think Andy Ruiz definitely has a power in his hands. Definitely, you can't take that fight away from him. Can he repeat history? Can we repeat that? It's going to be more difficult this time. It's not going to be as easy, but yes, he can.
Do you think the styles are favorable to him, though?
Yes. Yes. On Andy Ruiz's side, yes, no doubt. I think the one that needs more work and needs to really study this fight is Anthony Joshua, and I think he has been doing it. But it's going to be a more comfortable fight for Andy Ruiz, and many reasons and different areas. Mindset. I think Anthony's going to have the punch.
How does Joshua prepare for those multiple punches combinations that Ruiz throws in the heavyweight division?
You can't. The only way is facing the guy again. How do you face your fear? Go face your fear. So I think that he's smart in doing that. People can say like, he got hit. Does he go in and spar with someone heavy and test his chin and see if he's got it? No, he's got it. Listen, I'm not talking down on Andy Ruiz, but consider this. Andy Ruiz went down on a perfect chin shot. Joshua went down on a shot on the temple. What does that do? It takes everything away from you. Mind, body, everything. You ask Anthony Joshua what happened. He said, I don't remember anything. Meaning that shot took everything. He's got a great chin. He can take a punch. But those punches are there. You got hit right in the temple. Could it happen again? Yes, maybe. Would it happen? I don't know. Maybe you put his hands up this time and make it a more difficult fight for Andy Ruiz. Let's not forget he was down before. So
you stay behind that long 1-2. I'm saying it's difficult.
Difficult. Yes, it was, and that's what we thought in the first fight.
That's a 1-2. Andy's coming with 4, 5, and 6.
Exactly. That's what we thought in the first fight. Oh, you cannot get in that guard. It's too long of a distance. Great fighter, outside fighter, but hey, once he got in there, guess what he did? Damage. He put him down.
Talk to me about
about the rematch? How do you see that fight playing out?
I think it's. I think. I don't know. As Joshua got it. I love to see him win. Love to see him get the fight. Love to see him perform. But I just don't know.
Was it enough in the first fight for you to even make a decision on the second fight from Joshua?
No, because the weirdest thing is, I remember seeing Ruiz fight. Didn't even know his name. And I always remembered looking at him and thinking, fuck yeah, now he can fight for a fat man. And I remember watching him on a card in Texas, I'm sure it was. He knocked someone out clean. And I thought, fuck me, he's good. He could be a danger for somebody. And then I didn't really take notice of the build-up of him because he stepped in late and I thought, who is this? I didn't even watch the fight. Next day when I see he got beat, I didn't even know it was him. I looked at him and thought, fuck me, if I knew it was that fella who I seen, then that would have been a different story.
Do you guys think it will be the same outcome or a different outcome?
I think it's not small. I think that fight will go distance. Either one of them, but because Joshua is strong too. You know, when he dropped Reese, he hurt him. So if he catches him, he could hurt him too. But I think Andy's gonna win this again.
I'm a fan of both fighters, man.
What you got?
I'm a fan of both fighters. No, it's cool. It's all good. The thing is, man. Listen, I'm a boxing fiend. So when I seen Andy Ruiz win that title, that shit made me like smile on the inside. Like I was like genuinely happy because I never met him a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? I was genuinely happy. Especially when he told his mom like they ain't gotta start, they ain't gotta work no more, you know what I mean? He gonna take care of his mother. Like that really touched me. With that being said, I think Anthony Joshua went into that fight like Andy Ruiz just gonna lay down and do whatever he wanted him to do, and just, especially after he knocked him down, he walked back to the corner, all lax, put his hands, like, I'm about to finish this dude, like it ain't nothing. And he wasn't expecting Andy Ruiz to get up fighting like that. And I think, oh man, I don't even talk about that. He's gonna get me right out of here. I think a refocused Anthony Joshua. You see he lost some weight because he's run out of gas a little bit. He's run out of gas too much and he's not catching the second win. I think a refocused Anthony Joshua. I think they put the fight in Saudi Arabia. I don't know about judges and you know what I'm saying. It just looked like Anthony Joshua gonna steal a decision. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping everything is on the up and up with with judging and hope everything is fair. But I'm just interested in the fight. I don't know who's gonna win. If I had to bet my last dollar and I don't gamble, I would say Anthony Joshua in decision. But I'm a fan of both fighters though. I just want to see a great fight. I'm a big fan of Anthony Joshua too. He gets so much hate and criticism. I'm a fan of the whole heavyweight division. I like Tyson Fury. I love Deontay Wilder. I love Andy Ruiz. I love Joshua. You can be a fan of everybody. You don't gotta like, oh, because you're a fan of Andy Joshua, I hate Deontay Wilder, or vice versa. You can like all of them. I just want to see great fights. You know what I'm saying? So I like the whole heavyweight division right now, and I'm looking to see a good fight this weekend. You guys know.
I think.
Like really break it down for me.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little more complicated this time. I think Anthony's gonna be boxing better, using a height and reach. He's not gonna be exchanging like he did in the first fight. However, I still think that Andy is catching him, tagging him, and as the rounds go on, I think Andy drops him, hurts him. Might not get the knockout.
But I still
think he's gonna win. I still think Andy wins. I think he drops him. I think he can stop him. No doubt he can stop him. He already stopped him once. But I think the reason why he probably won't is because Anthony Joshua's gonna be boxing more effectively.
Okay.
But even doing so, I think Andy's still gonna be the one to be winning the rounds. Just because he's putting pressure, landing the better shots, hurts him a couple times, stuns him a couple times, might even drop him, and just, win the rounds that way. I still think Andy wins. Andy's gonna win. And I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks him out again.
But you think more or less it's probably going to fall on decision?
I think he's gonna, I think Anthony
win by points.
Josh is gonna box, just to not get involved in exchange, and that's what's gonna lead the fight to a difference. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Andy knocks him out in fucking 2 rounds. I hope Andy fucking goes in and destroys him. But boxing wise, strategy wise, I think Joshua and his team have learned not to exchange. So that's why they're probably trying to box. The game plan is going to be to stay on the outside.
Joshua and Ruiz, who's going to win and why?
Well, if Joshua learned from the first fight, he should fight with distance, you know, similar to Klitschko, similar to like Lewis, you know, where they're playing with distance right hand. And if he can do that, it'll be a very tough night for Ruiz. But being the Mexican, Ruiz is a tough guy. He can dish it out, he can get up, and he's going to give it out there. And I think that just pressing on like he did the first fight and just overwhelm Joshua. And I think that I think it's a competitive fight.
And you know, you said Joshua needs to kind of do what Vlad Klitschko did and Lennox, but he's never fought like that. Can he fight like that in the rematch successfully?
Well, I think he was trying to kind of paw the jab, and I think they might want to try to do that. But if he fights the same way like he fought the first time, where he's very vulnerable, when Ruiz can get in there, get him with the body, get him with the headshots, it'll be too dangerous, I think, personally, and that'll be a Ruiz fight.
What if Joshua says, I'm just going to do what I did against Klitschko? You know, just be a little more hungry this time. Was that going to be enough? Or?
I don't think it's enough, because if he fights in that same way, Ruiz can get inside.
Right.
You know, I mean, he did land those big punch on Ruiz, and Ruiz took it. You know, I think he'll be able to do that again. You never know, but I mean, it depends if Ruiz is high on success, or if Joshua is very, very hungry, that he's willing to change his style, you know. That's what we got to find out. I think it's an incredible fight.
You know, everyone's talking about Joshua's head. Where's his head at? Is he psychologically broken? You've been kind of, you know, there. Not broken, that's for sure. But you've been down and out, some would say, and
I've
came
been down. It depends on the personality of a person.
Right.
If he's willing to move on from there, then he has a way to kind of rebuild himself. But if he's the type of person that just kind of goes back into it, he'll just drown in that sorrow.
But this, because you were saying immediately, not just once the success came again, you knocked out Ryan Burnett, you were saying then, when people were counting you out, I still have it, and you're not hearing that from Joshua, like we did from you when it was, is that what you're saying?
That's something that we'll find out, right, with Joshua. I mean, my personality is, what you see is what you get. With Joshua, he's the kind of guy that might be quiet, and you just want to show it. You never know, you know, so that's why it's interesting to see, because there's a lot of dynamic that can change this fight dramatically.
But to wrap it up, you got Ruiz, is that right? Or?
I give my nod to Ruiz because he's just tenacious, he's very tough, and he has the edge in terms of what he has done. Will that play against Joshua in his mind? You know, that's a question that imposes inside that ring. The moment that he lands those punches, and the moment that he overwhelms or pressures him, you know, and that's the question. And he has that advantage. So I'll go for that. But I've always thought Ruiz is a fighter who has a lot of ability.
Hey, what round? Or you think it goes 12? Or?
You know, heavyweights, man, sometimes it doesn't, you know, a lot of the time it doesn't go, especially you get a rivalry like this. I think it's going to be a knockout. It doesn't matter who, because both of them have the capability to knock each other out.
Joshua Ruiz, who do you think wins that rematch and why?
I think, well, if I was a betting man, what I would say is it's not going 12 rounds. I don't believe it's going 12 rounds. I think that I'm picking Joshua in this one. I picked him in the first one. I was convinced he was going to win the first fight, like I think a lot of people were. I'd seen him in Fight Week in New York, and I was speaking to him, and he had a sty in his eye, which normally indicates someone's been a bit run down. And looking at his performance and him in the corner, you could definitely tell that something wasn't right. I think a fully fit Joshua will win the fight, but he's going to have demons there from the last one, and mentally he's going to have to be very, very strong, I think. But I'm picking Joshua would not surprise me if Andy Ruiz KOs him again. What would surprise me if the fight goes the distance.
With Joshua, is it if he wins, do you think it's going to be a case of he's just back to being the guy he was against Klitschko, or he's going to show us new things that we haven't seen before, jabbing and moving?
He's got a new trainer in, who's looking like he's punching more in combinations, trying to block shots. He's lost a lot more weight as well. Maybe the tactic is going to move a little bit more in this fight. But there's always going to be the questions because he lost to Andy Ruiz, no matter what happens in this fight. And if he beats Andy Ruiz again, there's still a debate as to no one knows yet who the #1 guy in the heavyweight division is. I think hopefully 2020 we'll find out. We'll have a unified, undisputed heavyweight champion. But yeah, he's still. I don't. Whereas people have seen him before the Ruiz fight as the #1 guy, I don't think we'll see him as the #1 anymore, even if he knocks Ruiz out.
If he goes into rematch, confident, different training, different methods, new style, new technique, and gets hit, do you automatically get that flashback? Damn, this guy beat me by, knocked me down 4 times. Do you automatically mentally change?
He shouldn't. He shouldn't. But that's something that he's gonna have to battle. That's something that Joshua is gonna have to battle. As soon as he gets touched, is he gonna mentally resolve back to that? And that's where the mental toughness comes in at, you know. And a lot of times there's a lot of people who want to know how to build mental toughness. They say, how do you build mental toughness? Well, you got to do everything right. And there can't be any holes anywhere. No hole. And what I mean by this is that from when you start, you get up in the morning time. What you supposed to do? You get up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face. Okay? Most of us don't even make our bed. You make your bed. You know, you put your shoes on. When you do your laundry, do you fold your laundry, or do you just throw it in the drawer? You know, do you hang what needs to be hung? Do you hang it up? You know, all of these things, you have to do everything right. Do you wash your car every week when your car's dirty? Do you clean your car out when things get in and it's not supposed to be in there? Do you clean it out right away? You know, you have to do things right all the way through your life. All the way through. That's how you build mental toughness. Because when you know you've done everything right, that sharpens. This sharpens. You pay attention to detail. Everything. Your clothes pressed. Your shoes are clean. You know what I'm saying? Your teeth are whitened. You're looking good. You're feeling good. So Joshua's going to have to answer that question. Is he doing everything right now? Did he change some things in his life? You know, did he get himself right with his outside life? You know, that's the most important thing for him right now. He has to get things right outside. Then he has to get things right in the gym with the training, getting on his technique, stop being lazy. You know what I'm saying? That laziness carries, man. You got to understand that. When you get up and you don't make your bed in the morning, that's one thing. It's lazy. Why don't you make your bed in the morning? So then that goes, and then in another area in your life, you're gonna be, oh, it's okay, it's all right. And then another area in your life, it's like, oh, it's okay, it's all right. But that's how you have downfalls, especially in the ring. So Joshua, when you do get hit, you're gonna have to ask yourself that question, because let me tell you something. The Joshua that I saw in the fight against, who is it? What's his name? What's that boy name? No. This was years ago. Klitschko. That guy. That guy right there. Bring that guy back. That guy right there, Joshua. Klitschko. The Klitschko Joshua. That's what we need to see if you want to win your championship back. You got up off the canvas. You were hurt several times, and you came back and you knocked him out.
I want to ask you about the other big heavyweight title fight, Joshua and Ruiz.
I think Andy beats him easier this time. I think Andy Ruiz is one of the best fighters I've seen. He's got some of the fastest hands since Mike Tyson. His hand speed, his boxing IQ, really what sets him apart. And I think he beats him easier.
But Ray, you've always said things like a man is not supposed to fight past 30 usually.
That's right.
So is it possible that warrior spirit that allowed Andy to get up from the knockdown and swing like all hell is gone when you make the kind of money he's made and gonna make in the rematch?
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, he's hungry. He's just as hungry now because he got that big fine. He got that big payday. You want to continue that payday, those big paydays for your future. That's just your financial security. No, you're gonna be hungry for that. Not only hungry to prove that you're a true heavyweight champion, be the best heavyweight champion, but the paydays will be there as long as you keep winning. You get bigger and better paydays. So that's an incentive. No, it doesn't. You know, once you know, he'll know when it's time. Right now, Andy is coming into his prime.
Because Buster Douglas won the title in 4 months, put on 30 pounds, and didn't.
Well, but these guys are fighting. You know, they just fought, and you know, it's only about 6 months later.
Right.
You know, Andy went back in the gym. So no, I think it's a different type of guy.
What would Joshua have to do differently at all to win a fight?
You gotta keep your hands up and throw them straight punches, because Joshua got good power. You dropped him once. If I dropped you, I know I can hurt you. I'm gonna try to put the punches on you again. I'm gonna try to do it again. No, and if I hit you with the right shot, you're gonna go.
Is it just a bad style matchup for Joshua? Because
I think so.
Andy kind of does what he does.
Yes, Andy, because his hand speed is what's the difference. Andy's hand speed is the difference in fight. That's the biggest difference. I think against anybody he fights, because his hand speed is really something. And he hits in his boxing IQ, but he hits pretty good. He's not a real big puncher, but he shoots 3 or 4 or 5 punches, before you realize it. And that's what hurts guys, and that's what takes them out.
Andy Ruiz is going to try and win that rematch next weekend against Joshua. Do you think he wins that fight? How's that fight going to go?
I mean, you know, he showed he has skills and, you know, and speed, and he showed a lot of people what Andy Ruiz could do, you know, and I feel like he could do it again. You know, it's not going to be an easy fight, but definitely he can make it happen again.
Just breaking it down, though, how's he going to make it happen again? Let's say Joshua's sharper, better.
He has to just overcome Anthony Joshua's reach and maybe power in the first couple rounds, and then break him down in the middle of the fight and do what he did the first fight. You know, close the distance and land 3-4 punch combinations.
Do you think Ruiz wins the rematch against Joshua?
100% sure that Manny Robles and Edgar Caso are doing a great job with Andy Ruiz. I'm very grateful with Manny Robles and Edgar Caso. I know their work ethic, and it's awesome. It's great, and him working with Andy is just a perfect combination.
Styles.
They got a perfect style to me, Anthony Joshua, and I'm positive, and I got the faith that they're going to do it again, just because I know Andy. I know he's a very talented guy. I've known him ever since I was 13 or 14 years old. He's a great fighter. For people who didn't know Andy, it was a surprise when it beat Anthony Joshua. For fighters and for his family who knew Andy, it wasn't that much of a surprise.
Right.
And you can tell that because there was a lot of betting in there. If you betted on Andy, it's because you knew who he was, and that's one of the main reasons. Him working with Manny is just a perfect combination. That's why I know it's a perfect team to repeat history, and I got faith in him that he's going to do it again.
Who are you picking next week, Joshua Ruiz, and why?
I like them both, but I think I've noticed all the preparation that Joshua has done, you know, take some of that muscle mass off, because, you know, he's having trouble with stamina, and all that muscle was killing him. It's making it hard for his muscles to breathe, all that bulk. Right. And a lot of top trainers don't agree with Andy slimming down some. And plus, you know, Joshua's looking at that big right hand, but like same thing with me. Once you win that belt, you gain, like I think you said, more. You know, you get better and more confidence boost. And right now, Ruiz is on top of the world, but I just have a feeling that Joshua just making it to his belts back.
By knockout?
More likely he's going to knock him out, because Andy Ruiz to me is the better boxer. He's faster. He has a great trainer, Manny Robles, who helped me get to the Olympics. And you know, Andy had to me a more weak. He's more grounded, and he knows his identity. Joshua right now, he's building again, so you gotta look at that description. But like, if anything, Joshua has to win by knockout, but it's still the difference. I can see Andy outboxing.
Yeah, because like you said, identity. They're trying to tell Joshua fight with the jab, do things that didn't get him to the title, right?
Exactly. So you gotta look at that. You gotta look at all those aspects.
Do you think AJ will lose again next month, or he'll get the titles back?
I think he'll make the adjustments. I think he was taking them lightly, the last fight. I think he'll go in there and make the adjustments and get the win. Excuse me. I definitely think that it's going to be a knockout. I don't know. I mean, I figure it's going to be AJ, but I know it's not going 12 for sure.
What adjustments though? Because people think AJ's a little too stiff to stop fighting kind of straight up. What adjustments could AJ make though that you think he could do? Go
to the body. Use his jab, go to the body, try to break Andy down first instead of going in there fighting fire with fire. Andy has a chin, Andy has heart. He showed that he can get up off the canvas and go back in there and fight, even though Joshua did drop him early. But why fight fire with fire if you don't have to?
That's always been his style, Anthony Joshua.
But as he started going up there and in bigger fights, he started to use his jab, he started to box more. Like against
Povetkin
and the other guy, Joseph Parker.
Well, Parker was a little hesitant himself, though. He wasn't fighting like Andy Ruiz trying to.
Parker beat Andy Ruiz though.
True.
Styles make fights.
Who do you favor going into the Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua rematch?
I would favor Ruiz, but acknowledging that Joshua has had 6 months to
sit and stew on it, right?
To rearm, and because I think he got shocked, not just because he probably never heard of Ruiz a month before the fight. He was a late substitute. He was plainly out of shape, even for a guy who normally fights out of shape.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see it, and I wouldn't be shocked if Joshua won, but Ruiz is a hard kind of guy to beat.
Ruiz fights Joshua again. What are we going to see?
Well, you know what? I can't tell you, but I was with Ruiz the last fight. I think Anthony Joshua is going to come with his all-out assault. He's going to try to, do what he do. When I seen Joshua when he got in the ring to me, I didn't see a Joshua that I normally see in regular fights. I didn't see him have no sweat on him. I didn't see him warmed up. And he looked like a deer in headlights. But that takes nothing away from Anthony Ruiz. And I told people this guy can fight. And, when you got guys in here that are breaking records, like he's the first, Mexican heavyweight champion, I mean that's major. That's major.
And do you favor him in the rematch, Ruiz, being that he's already beat him once?
Of course, I'm going to go with Ruiz because he beat him before. And also, once you get that spotlight and you get that where people went from not picking your bags up to picking your bags up, when you get from people saying, oh, that fat boy boxed too, oh, he's a good fighter, you like that. You love that. So he's going to work that harder. And what we was talking about, man, the guys in the gym was just talking is how he just bought his mom a house and he won a house. He likes that. Yep. So it's going to be a tough fight.
The big one next week, Joshua and Ruiz. What do you think of that?
Man, I'm a huge fan of Anthony Joshua. No secret there. But I don't know. I have trouble seeing it going any different than it did the first time. It's just a style matchup. It's a tough style. I think that Andy Ruiz with the speed, the power. But who knows, though? I mean, I would love to see Joshua pull a Lennox Lewis and come back from a knockout loss with a win. But I like Andy. I like Anthony. I think they're both great for boxing. Should be a great fight.
So it's more of a stylistic thing, not because we're all psychoanalyzing Joshua, wondering if it's that, if he's mentally broken.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's just a style matchup. I don't think that matchup's ever a good matchup for Joshua. I think that the fast hands. I said this before the first fight. I said, watch out, don't sleep on Andy Ruiz. He's a very tough, hard-hitting, fast-handed heavyweight, which is rare.
What is it about the style? I'll take a crack at it. Is it because Joshua likes mid to close range, left hooks, uppercuts, and Ruiz likes the same? But
I think it's the hand speed. I think that Andy has quick hands, and his puncher's actually short. He's a short puncher, so fighting on the inside, getting on the inside, and it doesn't help that it doesn't hurt that he's tough as nails. He can take the power on the way in. He did get dropped in the first fight, but other than that, he took the punches really well. He waited through to get inside to let his hands go, and that's the thing. When he gets inside, he doesn't make the mistake that other shorter fighters make against tall guys where they get handcuffed. He lets his shit go.
And just I don't know if you saw the gloves are off on Sky Sports. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, but they face off and speak to each other. But what do you make about the mental battle there? There's been so much made of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, mental is a big part of this game, and probably a lot more than half of it. But you know, there's certain things you can overcome. You know, being strong mentally, having a good camp, having a good culture in the camp, and apparently Joshua didn't have that. You know, going into the first fight. So you know, hopefully they fix that, and we get the best version of each guy, and see who's gonna win.
Do you have him by knockout around what time of the fight, or a decision, or how do you?
Hard to say. Like I said, in my mind, I kind of see a similar fight to the first fight.
Right.
But I also could definitely see Joshua coming out and getting his revenge. You know, so he could do that relatively early. He could be mid rounds. It's a hard fight to call.
Well, I you know, as far as the fight, I don't see anything that will go differently. In other words, even though I didn't figure Ruiz to win the first fight, after watching the first fight, I don't think Joshua got an answer for it. I think the style of Ruiz and Ruiz fight is made to order to beat Joshua. That being said, well, I think Ruiz will win that fight and win it probably the same way as he won the first fight. It's still a big attraction and it's a big fight.
Joshua and Ruiz, who wins that fight and why, Dre?
Man, I don't know. You know, it's a lot of variables. I want to see if Ruiz still has the hunger that he had going into the first fight. You know, he's living it up as he should to a degree, but you know, too much of that will take your hunger away. He's losing weight. I don't know how much weight I want to see him lose, and I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but a guy that's been fighting at that weight for so long, you don't want to see him trying to lose weight. Just get in the best shape you can and let your weight fall where it's going to fall. Joshua looks like he's leaning out and slimming down, so I don't really have an opinion on it, man. I just want to see if the first fight was a fluke, and I want to see if Joshua can find the resolve to do what many great heavyweights have done before him, which is go take back something that was taken from you. If he can do it, he's gonna still be mentioned in there with the top heavyweights today. If he can't, that might be it for him.
Well, a lot of people are talking about he needs to be more like Lennox, be more like Vlad. You know, use his height more. Is that what he should do? Or should he just be the guy he's always been and, you know, turn it up to 100?
I don't know if he could become another fighter, man, in a short period of time. You know, I do think the biggest thing for me is take some of that mask off. Be who you've been to get to this point. Shore up a few areas. Robert McCracken is a great coach. You know, tighten up a few things. Think about rematches. You don't try to do a complete overhaul. Take one or two things, tighten up on, and get some of that mass off. He'll be in a good position.